This is Brian Carlton for ABN Newswire. I'm at the Bowlers Club of New South Wales for the April Symposium Resources Roadshow. One of the presenting companies today was Heron Resources, which is exploring and developing mineral resources, as the name implies, within Australia. Heron Resources Managing Director Mathew Longworth is with me now. Mathew, welcome to ABN Newswire.
Thank you, Brian.
You've gone off into a bit of a gold project that has an interesting history. Tell me about that.
Yes, as part of our business development opportunities, we identified the A1 gold mine in Victoria last year as something which was of the right size for Heron to do. It has many similarities to the gold mines in the Eastern Goldfields in that, unlike other Victorian mines, it's hosted in a mafic dike. So the alteration is exactly the same as we see in the Eastern Goldfields. And one of the key things which led us into the project was that the recognition of medium-grade stockwork mineralisation. Now, stockworks are where you get veins in all different directions and closely packed, but they cover larger physical areas. So the advantage there is these were left behind by the old-time miners who had a lower cut-off grade of somewhere around 20 grams. And they might... We've got some which run anywhere up to sort of 10 grams, but anywhere between 5 and 10 grams is potentially economic for us, depending on where it occurs in the mine. It allows us to mine these potentially with mechanised equipment, so with jumbo drills, with boggers and small trucks, rather than the previous handheld high-cost mining methods which were employed in the mine. So we see that as a really key aspect of the operation. And we entered into an option in August of last year. That gives us 2 years to evaluate the project. As part of that evaluation, we've regained access to the old workings by putting a decline in on the 7 level. We're currently putting in a 7-level drill drive along the ore body to provide us not only sample and fresh faces, but also access for the larger long hole rigs, which will allow us to test effectively down to the 14 level and beyond to evaluate the potential of the mine for reopening and producing cash for Heron.
So this is about not so much volume but profitability.
It's very much about profitability, very much about quality mining.
It must have been a good one. They named it the A1 back in, 1861?
Yes, it's actually one of Australia's longest running gold mines. It was originally discovered in 1861 and operated pretty much continuously through to 1992. However, it never had the appropriate amount of capital, so the small handheld underground trucks only carried 0.4 of a tonne, and there's so much double handling, etc., that it became uneconomic in 1992 with the downturn in the gold price, despite the fact that they were mining around about 14 to 20 gram ore.
Wow. Now, you're in a very good position cash-wise. You came out of the global financial crisis with actually more money than you went into it with. Will you be using that as the capital for the gold mine? Yeah,
look, that's the intention. One of the criteria we used in terms of selecting projects at that stage was something which was capable of being done within our own financial resources. Certainly through 2009, project financing around the world had totally dried up. In fact, there was no single project finance deal done in the first quarter of 2009, and it's only just recently started to reopen as people feel more comfortable with projects moving forward. So that was one of the criteria. Yes, we went into the global financial crisis in pretty good financial shape, but fortunately in 2006 we'd placed a number of our iron ore assets into a company, Polaris Metals, and many investors would be aware that Polaris Metals was subject to a successful takeover bid in last quarter of 2009, and as a result of that, Heron was able to bank in excess of $40 million additional dollars.
Wow.
So at the moment we've got just in excess of $60 million in the bank, and that gives us a lot of freedom, not only in terms of developing the A1 mine, but certainly looking at the business development opportunities, both be it in M&A or in acquisitions of projects in Australia, but also around the world.
So what sort of time frame are you looking at for A1 production? How long is it going to be?
The evaluation, the option is for 2 years. We're hoping that we'll start to get a good understanding of the geology and mineralisation during the course of this calendar year. and then move into a concurrent feasibility study with the second part of the evaluation. And with everything going well, we'd expect it to be about 18 months from where we are today. We are working on all the approvals for moving from the evaluation stage, the decline and the exploration decline through to processing, so that we're well ahead with those and we won't hopefully be held up by permitting issues.
So what about exploration opportunities? What are you looking at?
Look, we've got on our own exploration portfolio, the main things we're looking at is gold, base metals and nickel sulfides. Whilst Heron's probably better known in the past for nickel laterite, as part of the land package we've put together for our nickel projects, we've got a fantastic package of ultramafic rocks which also host the nickel sulfide mineralisation. And there's 3 areas we're working on that, and the 2 key ones are at our Kalgoorlie project and at Rocky Gully. And they're 2 nickel sulfide prospects which we're working on. We also have a gold and base metals prospect at Mount Zephyr, which is also very exciting.
Apart from your balance sheet, what was the thrust of your pitch today to potential investors? Why should people come aboard Heron?
Well, Heron offers a number of things. Firstly, a strong balance sheet and a share price which is basically at cash backing. So it's a cash-backed investment. Secondly, we've got some great exploration opportunities, and discovery is only as far away as the next drill hole. We're drilling at the moment, so look forward for some good information, some good results coming out of that. There's some very exciting targets we're looking at. And secondly, we have a pathway to production with the A1 mine, but also leveraging off our balance sheet, we're looking at the opportunity for acquisitions and merger and acquisition activity, both at a project level but also potentially at a corporate level.
What do you see as the benefit of these Symposium Resources Roadshows?
It allows us to interact face-to-face with a wider range of people who wish to invest in companies like Heron. They're investors and they take the interest. They really believe in understanding not so much the science, but the company, and they do their homework. So it gives us the opportunity to meet with them face to face, which in particular in New South Wales and Victoria, etc., they don't get the chance to come to Western Australia. So we come to see them, and it gives us a broader shareholder base and good interaction.
Mathew Longworth, Managing Director, Heron Resources. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
This is Brian Carlton for ABN Newswire.